How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to build this Farm Fresh Christmas tree sign. If you guys want to see how this project is made, as well as a free set of plans, stay tuned and I'll show you how. To get started on this project, I'm going to be using a chunk of walnut that I went ahead and planed down to 3/4 of an inch, probably a couple of years back, and I've just never used it. So I'm thinking this is going to be good enough to make the frame, and then what I have here is a 1/4 inch sheet of plywood, and I'm hoping I can cut out a 16 inch by 16 inch piece on here, and that's going to be where all the painting is going to be done at. So let's go ahead, head over to my table saw where we can start cutting up this wood. Now that I have my plywood cut to 16 by 16 inches, I want to go ahead and start working on the frame, and for that I'm going to be using this piece of walnut here. I want this frame to look a little bit rustic though, so I'm not going to be using miter joints. I don't really want to make it look super nice. I'm going to be using butt joints, so it's just kind of a little bit rough looking, but I think it's going to go well with what's going to be on the inside of the sign. So at this point I've cut out all the pieces for the frames, and then I've cut to length these two side pieces, but I haven't done the top and bottom ones yet, and that's because I need to cut a groove inside of all 4 of these pieces first, which is going to actually shrink these on the sides a little bit, and it's going to bring them in, and then my top and bottom lengths are going to be a hair bit smaller. So I want to go ahead and cut that groove, and then I can cut my final lengths for my top and bottom pieces. So after making my grooves in all 4 pieces, I realized that these side pieces are actually going to need to be cut a little bit shorter as well. So let's go ahead and head over to the table saw where I can finish up all these cuts for the frame, and then I can start working on the actual sign. So now my walnut frame is all set and ready to go. Now I don't want to glue this up yet because I want to start painting my sheet of plywood before I go ahead and assemble this frame. So assembling this frame is going to be one of the very last steps. First, what I want to do is go ahead and paint this sheet of plywood, what I want to put the sign and all that on it. So I'm going to start with the base coat of white. So while I let my base coat dry, I want to go ahead and cut out my template. What I did was I made this image in my computer, I printed it off, and now I need to convert it from paper to plastic. So what I'm going to be doing is just taking a knife and I'm going to carve it out. It's going to go all the way through, and that's going to give me a nice template for spray painting. So let's go ahead and start carving this out. So carving out just the F took way too long, and I think the main issue is this isn't the right material that you should be using. You should be using some type of stencil paper or something like that, because this plastic is just way too thick to cut through if you want to do it accurately. So I think I have an idea that might speed this up just a little bit. So my CNC machine did a great job of cutting this out. Now I do want to let you guys know that if you don't have a CNC machine, don't let that discourage you from making this project. You just need the right type of stencil paper, and then you'll be able to cut it out by hand. The stuff I'm using was just too thick to cut out by hand, so I just went ahead and used my CNC machine to make it a little bit easier. But now that everything's on here, I went ahead and taped the template in place, and then I went back and I filled in the R's and the A's and stuff like that so that they're gonna look all nice when everything's all painted. So now we can go ahead, head outside, and we'll paint this the final color. So after letting my paint dry for a few hours, I can go ahead and take my template and masking tape off. So now that my plywood's all done being painted, I can go ahead and assemble the frame around it. And for that, I'm just going to be using some wood glue and a brad nailer. And now the last thing to do is go ahead and add some finish to this walnut border, and for that I'm just going to be using some Danish oil. Once that final coat of Danish oil has fully cured, this is all set to be brought inside the house and used as a Christmas decoration. So hopefully you guys like this project. If you did, let me know by leaving a comment and hitting that thumbs up button. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, do that so then you'll get weekly notifications when I post a brand new woodworking video almost every Tuesday. And if you want updates throughout the week, follow me over on Twitter. That's where all that stuff will be at. So as always guys, that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next week.